She hadn't meant to stop. Didn't need flour. Didn't need tools. Didn't need anything, not anymore. But the way the wind turned, sharp and restless, pulled her cart toward the town square. That's when she saw them. 3 boys, burlap sacks over their heads like crude masks, wrists tied behind their backs, standing beside a sign scrawled in rough paint. Orphans, $3 each. No names, no ages. Clara Hensley stepped off her cart, her boots hitting the dirt with purpose. No one paid attention at first. They never did. The town had long stopped wondering about the widow Hensley's comings and goings. She shopped twice monthly, always in black, always quiet, never staying for chatter or church socials. But now she pushed through the crowd gathered around the post where the boys stood, and every eye followed. Not because she was odd, but because her gaze was fierce. The auctioneer, a sweaty man with frayed suspenders, coughed. "Ma'am, you here for one?" She didn't reply. The tallest boy wavered, maybe 11 or 12, knees buckling before he steadied himself. The other 2 stood still. $3 each. The man repeated, scratching his neck. Farmer up north might take him. Good for tending sheep. Clara stepped closer, silent. The auctioneer shifted. "You understand, ma'am? These boys ain't tamed. Barely speak. Don't cry neither. Haven't eaten since dawn. Sellers' orders keep the sacks on. Could be mute, could be worse." He forced a laugh. "You don't know what you're getting." Clara reached into her coat, pulling out a worn purse. Inside were $6 and a folded note that smelled of sage and thyme. She pressed the coins into his hand. "All 3, she said. He blinked. "Pardon. Untie them." The crowd froze, breaths held. The man hesitated, muttered, then stepped forward with a knife. One by one, the sacks fell. The tallest had sharp green eyes, too big for his gaunt face, jaw tight. The middle one bore a bruise under his eye, a scab on his lip, gaze flickering over the crowd. The smallest, no older than 6, looked straight at Clara. "Mrs. Hensley," he whispered, sure and soft. A murmur rippled through the crowd. "How's he know her?" someone hissed. Clara didn't answer. She touched each boy's shoulder, the smallest, the middle, the eldest. "Come with me." The auctioneer shouted. "You don't even know their names." But she didn't pause. She didn't need names. She needed them to live. They rode back in silence. The boys huddled in the cart, eyes on the road. Clara offered no bread, no water, not yet. She knew sudden kindness could spook the deeply wounded. Her house sat at the valley's edge, pines looming tall, the creek running swift. The fields were overgrown, the barn sagged, but it was hers. The boys didn't move when she stopped at the porch. "Inside," she said. The eldest jumped down first, helping the others without a word. They trailed her into the house like ghosts, steps soft, breath shallow. The stove still held morning's warmth. Clara set a kettle on, pulled beans and flour from a cupboard. "Sit," she said. They obeyed. She mixed batter, watching them. "Your name?" she asked the smallest. He paused. "Eli," he whispered. She nodded. "Yours?" The middle one stared at the table. "Nate." The eldest met her eyes after a long moment. "Jude." She spooned batter into a hot pan. "I'm Clara. You said my name, Eli. How'd you know it?" He shrugged. "Just knew. Someone tell you?" "No, we met before." He shook his head. "Then how?" Eli looked at her, a boy too young to lie, too old to trust. "I heard it in my sleep. A lady said, Clara Hensley will come. She'll take you home." The batter hissed. Jude stiffened. Nate glanced down. Clara stayed still. "What lady?" "Didn't say her name," Eli murmured, scratching his wrist. "But she was kind, warm, like you." Silence settled. Then Jude stood. "I don't care how he knew your name. If you're going to hurt us, do it fast." Clara turned, brow creasing. "I won't hurt you. They all say that." "Well," she said, flipping pancakes, "I won't say it again." She fed them. They ate like starved dogs. No talk, just the scrape of forks. When the plates were bare, she laid blankets by the hearth. "Sleep here tonight. Clean clothes in the chest. If you run, I won't chase you. But the lantern stays on till morning." She started for the stairs, then paused. "Tomorrow," she said softly, "we'll talk about what's next." They didn't sleep, and neither did she. Eli's words echoed in her mind. Words she'd never shared, not even in prayer by her husband's grave. "Let someone need me again, she'd whispered into the earth. Let someone say my name. Now a boy had. And 3 lives, maybe 4, were about to shift forever. Morning came, gray and heavy. Clara was up before the rooster's weak crow, starting the fire. Eli slept curled by the hearth, thumb near his lip, not sucking, just holding. Nate lay rigid, fists on his chest, like he expected a fight. Jude sat in the corner, knees up, watching the door, watching her. Clara poured water into a basin, mixed soap. She didn't ask who was hungry, they all were. Didn't ask who was dirty, that was clear. She set folded shirts and trousers by the stove. Wash in the barn. Towels in the red box. Jude, you first, then Nate. Eli, you're last. Don't come back till you're clean. Jude's jaw tightened. Why are you doing this? Because I want to. People don't do things just to be kind. They do, she said, meeting his eyes. They just forget how much kindness costs. He didn't reply but took the clothes and left. By the time Nate followed, Clara was cooking oats, slicing apples, dusting them with cinnamon she'd saved for a day like this. Eli lingered in the doorway. Can I keep my name? He asked. Why wouldn't you? People change them when they take you. I won't. Good, he whispered. I think God gave it to me. Her chest tightened. Warm enough. He nodded. Go on then. He scampered to the barn. The sky brightened as they returned, clean but awkward in 2 big clothes. Jude stood by the table, hair damp. I'll do chores, he said. You don't need to. I want to. Clara showed him the tool shed, the chicken coop, the neglected garden. Jude worked without questions. She sent Nate to stack wood. Eli helped fold linens, collect dishes. It wasn't perfect. Eli dropped a plate when she spoke too sharply. Nate avoided her eyes. Jude skipped lunch. But by dusk, the house felt warmer than it had in years. Then a knock. 3 sharp raps. Clara froze. The boys looked up. She opened the door to find Reverend Thomas Crane, tall and thin, hands clasped like he was always praying. Afternoon, Clara, he said. Heard you made a purchase. She stepped outside, closing the door. I brought them home. Some thought you'd lost your mind. Maybe I have. They're not cattle. I know. They've been passed around more than stray dogs. That Jude, he broke a man's jaw once. He won't break mine. Crane sighed. Want me to register their names with the county? Make it official? Not yet. I need to know they'll stay. Don't count on it, with their past. She looked at the hills, then back. Then I'll make a new past. He tipped his hat. Clara, I hope you know what you're doing. 3 boys, that's a miracle. She didn't reply. Inside, Eli peeked from the curtain. Who was that? Someone who worries too much. He's scared, Eli said, of what might happen to us. So am I. That night, she set an old Bible on the table. I read this as a girl, she said. Sometimes it helped, sometimes it didn't. Want to hear something? They didn't answer. She read anyway. He setteth the solitary in families. He bringeth out those which are bound with chains. She didn't look up, just kept reading. By the end, Eli was asleep. Nate was curled in a blanket. Jude's eyes weren't on the door any more, they were on her. She blew out the lantern. The house's silence didn't feel hollow. Blood in the snow came the next morning. A thin trail led from the house to the trees. Clara followed, heart pounding. The boys were asleep, or so she thought. The trail wound through pines, too small for a man's boots, too heavy for an animal. In a clearing, she found Jude, kneeling by a snare, hand wrapped in cloth, a rabbit bleeding beside him. I didn't mean to, he said. Thought I'd get breakfast, but it fought. He didn't cry, just stared. Will it die? Yes, she said, ending its pain with a rock. I'm sorry. She looked at his hand. You need stitches. I've had worse. Not here, you won't. She stitched him up by lamplight, the others watching silently. I want to learn a trap right, Jude said. You will. And to shoot. Why? To protect them. All right, she said, but not today. A scream woke her before dawn. Raw, primal, it tore through the house. Clara ran, nightgown catching on the doorframe. Jude was thrashing, sweat-soaked, clawing the air. His eyes were shut, mouth open, screams breaking into sobs. Stop. Please, no more. Eli covered his ears. Nate stood frozen. Jude, wake up, Clara said. He didn't. She gripped his shoulders. Jude, you're safe. You're home. His eyes snapped open, body rigid. Don't touch me, he gasped. It's Clara. You were dreaming. He looked around, chest heaving. Eli cried softly. I'm sorry, Jude said. Didn't mean to wake anyone. Nate stepped forward. He does this sometimes. Not always this bad. Should I sleep in the barn? Jude asked. No one's going to the barn, Clara said. I scared him, Jude said, nodding at Eli. It's okay, Eli whispered. I dreamed I was back there, Jude said. The man who bought us before. His boots. His rope. Clara's throat tightened. You're not. They sat in silence. We'll make tea, she said. It helps. They sipped tea till dawn, no one sleeping. Later, Clara gave Jude an axe. Make your arms tired, your mind quiet, she said. But learn the right way first. She taught him to split wood properly. Nate worked the garden, gentle with seeds. Eli swept, humming hymns. Days passed. Nate read aloud, stumbling but persistent. Jude fixed a hinge, unasked. Eli left drawings under Clara's pillow smudged, but always with home written in the corner. One night, Nate came home with a black eye. Town boys called us trash, he said. I told them to stop. Did Jude fight? No, he stood there. Why didn't you run? We don't run anymore. Clara cleaned his wound. You're brave. Foolish, too. That night, she served stew and let them sit close to the fire. Jude slipped Nate extra bread. A letter came from the county, asking Clara to bring the boys to town. They want to check on you, she said. Make sure I'm fit. We don't want to go, Eli said. You don't have to stay, she replied. But you have to show them what we've built. In town, the clerk's questions were sharp. Do you sleep? Eat? Feel safe? The boys answered clearly. She didn't take us, Jude said. We chose her. That night, Eli's drawing showed 4 stick figures by a house, found written on the roof. Clara wept openly. The boys stayed with her. Snow fell early, soft at first, then heavy. Eli watched, awestruck. Is it cold? Freezing, Jude teased. They built a snowman, laughing, arguing over sticks for arms. Clara watched, warmth spreading through her. The house felt alive again. Trouble came 5 days later. In town, the storekeeper warned of a stranger asking about the boys, claiming family. Clara rode home fast. A man stood in her cabin, holding a sack, papers signed by a judge. They're mine, he said. You paid for flesh, not family. Clara snapped, raising her rifle. Try it. He backed off, but the threat lingered. Clara took the boys to the courthouse. The judge confirmed the papers were forged. I want peace, she said. He nodded. Winter passed slowly. Jude built a sled. Nate read every book. Eli wrote Clara in chalk on the wall. Spring brought a garden, the boys growing alongside it. But a letter slipped under the door warned, you stole them. Then a goat was found dead, neck snapped. Clara locked the doors, kept the rifle loaded. Jude's birthday brought thunder and gifts, a whistle from Eli, a pouch from Nate, Clara's husband's coat for Jude. Then a stray dog appeared, followed by gunfire. Clara kept the boys inside, waiting out the threat. On the 4th day, she rode to town, learning of a man asking about her. She unpacked her husband's revolver and a map, planning to reach a safe homestead. But riders cut her off, surrounding her. You stole those boys, one said. The system's broken, she replied, revolver raised. They struck her. Back at the cabin, the boys waited. By the 3rd day, Jude opened the box. Clara left revolver, map, names. We go after her, he said. They found her horse, shot, blood trailing east. In the hills, they found a shack, Clara tied inside. I knew you'd come, she said. Men were coming back. They fled down a ravine, gunfire chasing them. Clara led them to an old mine. Inside they hid. When the men entered, Jude and Nate ambushed them. Clara shot the last, her hands shaking. You saved us, Jude said. They left the survivor with a warning. Back home, fear faded. They planted a tree where the mine stood. By spring, it bloomed. A rider came one night, a boy with a telegram. 3 more boys taken for auction. Clara and Nate rode out, finding them in a pen at Porter's Mill. Nate used dynamite, creating chaos. Clara cut the boys free. They escaped, reaching the blooming tree by dawn. See, a network contact, arrived with a ledger of more children. We keep going, Clara said. The house grew, filled with laughter, new boys Jonas, Polly, Ben. Ben wrote Clara on paper, unprompted. They're healing, she whispered. So are we, Nate said. The house became the Hensley light, a beacon for the lost. Under the tree, a marker stood for those who made it and those who didn't. Clara never turned anyone away, giving life to those who'd been buried in silence.